and welcome to IQ session number 72. I did 8 first, but that's okay. 72. Today is all about how to help those around you. Now, this can be taken for any time in life, whether it's a crisis or whether it's an interesting time like it is at the moment in our world. You may have people around you that are doing things a little tough. And this is designed to help you and to help them. Cool. All right, let's see how we go. Good luck to me, because it's just me tonight. And good luck to you guys, because God knows what I'm going to come out with at some point. And there's also no one to cut me off. So let's be honest, that's probably the most scariest part. I might just end up waffling for 45 minutes. Who knows? Anyway, tonight, first of all, I want to set the scene by saying hopefully you've never experienced this, but if you've ever been on a plane and it is going down, if you haven't, I haven't, thank God. They always tell us in the safety instructions at the start that in case of emergency, the oxygen masks will pop down from the ceiling. So please fit them to yourself before fitting them to anyone else. And this is kind of going to stipulate the whole direction for tonight's chat, because we can't help others unless we help ourselves first. Because when that plane's going down, if you've run out of oxygen and you pass out, there's no way that you can help anybody else. So we actually have to help ourselves so that we can help those around us. And in doing that, we also don't know how we're going to inspire others, how we're going to motivate others, and to get others moving to want to be the best version of themselves by us investing into ourselves too. And it goes with the saying of you can't give from an empty cup. So tonight, I really want to talk about how do we fill up your cup so that you can fill up other people's cups. And then also, how do we understand who we are, who other people are, and how they tick. So first things first, just like if we're in an airplane and we were going down, let's focus on you first. So first we have to focus on ourselves. And by doing that, we have to focus on the things that we can control. Firstly, I'm going to put in point number 1, exercise. We have full control over how we exercise, how often we exercise, the kind of exercises we do. What's the best exercise for this? It's the one that you love the most. It's the one that you can get in, the one that you can fit in, whether it's a 4-minute BAM workout, whether it's a boot camp, whether it's going for an 8K run, it doesn't matter. It's movement. Now, I want to explain a little further, what does exercise actually do for us? First of all, endorphins pump through our body. They're little neurotransmitters. They're little messengers that come through our head to talk to different parts of the body. Endorphins, they create an energized, euphoric feeling, and they're also natural pain relievers. So if you're tired, you're sluggish, then endorphins help you feel energized. So exercise quite literally gives you energy. There's first one. Next one, dopamine. It's the feel-good neurotransmitter. But amino acids are needed to produce the dopamine, and also exercise boosts the levels dramatically. So again, awesome one. That's going to lead us into the next point, which will come a little bit later, about amino acids. Now, forgive me how I say this. I did Google it before, but I'm totally going to get it wrong. Nah, I can't do it. No, I did it before. I can't. Norepinephrine, something along those lines. Yeah, close enough. We got there. Google it later, okay? This one increases your heart rate to pump more blood. And so it increases your blood pressure. It breaks down fat and increases blood sugar levels to give you more energy. Again, exercise gives you energy. You ever heard the idea that you need to have money to make money? It's the same thing. You don't actually need to have the energy to create the energy with exercise. You just need to go and do it so you can get more. And so many people go, oh, I'm so tired, I can't exercise. It's like, no, that's why you need to exercise, because these neurotransmitters will quite literally give you the energy you need. Next one is serotonin, helps regulate mood, appetite, sleep, and so this is through sunshine and vigorous exercise. And it can also relieve anxiety and depression too. Again, these are some of the side effects that comes from exercise. Now, why do we need to do this? Because we can't help others unless we help ourselves first. Because if you came to me and you wanted help in life, or you were struggling and you were reaching out and you came to me and I was like, yeah, I'm really struggling too. Like, how much help am I going to be? Whereas if you're the best version of you, if you're energetic, if you're in a really good mindset, you're going to give the best version of you to that person so that they can then become the best version of them too. And when we're in a good headspace and a good positive frame of mind, we can give better advice. We can be better for that person because it's infectious. If you hang around with 5 sad sacks, you become the 6th sad sack. But if you hang around 5 happy, upbeat people, you become the 6th happy, upbeat person. So getting ourselves in the right frame of mind to start with is number 1 priority. And exercise, super simple way to do this. And the benefits outweigh just these chemicals that are produced in our body and elevated when we do exercise. It far outweighs that. But these are just kind of some of the scientific backings of why we do what we do. So exercise, move as often as you can. It doesn't have to be big. Like, you can win with 10 seconds. But it's got to be 10 seconds of vigorous exercise. Like, get down and do 10 seconds of mountain climbers like your life depends on it. I guarantee your state will be changed, because you have to breathe deep. You'll be gasping for air. That whole aerobic system is pumping, which then makes your blood pump more, which makes all these chemicals happen in your body. We're burning cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which also leads to anxiety and depression and all these kind of things. And if we spend too long in a chronic state of stress, we then get decreased immunity, we get high blood pressure, diabetes, coronary heart disease, all of these kind of things. So the alternative is not great, but all the positives that come from exercise, hopefully by now you guys are getting the point. In all of these 72 IQ sessions, at one point or another, we've mentioned exercise. So it's actually a really good thing. So do it. Please do it. So first of all, that's something you can control. Now, you might be injured, you might be sick, etc., but there's always something that you can do. Even if your legs are broken, you can punch the air. And I guarantee if you punch the air nice and fast for 10 seconds, you're going to get huffy puffy pretty quick. Do it for 30 seconds, do it for 45 seconds. There's always a way, and we can find it. If you ever are struggling in that department, please reach out. We kind of happen to be experts in the exercise field, so we'd love to help you along in that road. Next one, we can control what we eat. I'd really love to start educating some more on what we eat and how it matters. So when we do an 8-week challenge, a lot of you have done an 8-week challenge before or are currently doing one. We talk about, in a transformation journey, the numbers are priority 1. They're ground zero. We have to hit the numbers to get a result. After that, then, which we'll actually be focusing on next week, I think, not this week coming, but the week after, week 5, anyway, whatever week we're in. Then we look at, to go one step further, we can look at the macros, which is our macronutrients. So that's the breakdown of food. Food gets split up into 4 categories: proteins, fats, carbs, and alcohol. And then the combination of that and to how it could make you perform better, feel better, have more energy, etc. But again, your calorie number is most important. Then the mix of the food that you're eating to get a certain result. But then also the next stage of this is how the quality of our food affects us outside of what our body looks like. So if you hit your calories and etc., and you do that consistently, you will hit a target and you'll hit your goals of the way that you want to look physically, your shape wise, your body fat composition, etc., along with your exercise. We can build muscle and stuff like that. If we take a look at the inside, if we're eating good quality food, this has a much larger effect on how we act. So there's a real strong connection between gut health and brain health or mental health. And by eating better, we can have a better result. It's kind of like if you could afford a Ferrari, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to put the best quality fuel in that Ferrari because you've paid such a lot of money for it. Ferraris are what, a couple $100,000, $500,000 plus, whatever they are. You're not going to go and put standard 91 unleaded in it because you're a tight ass. And if you are, we need to have a chat. You're going to respect the vehicle that you've parted with so much of your hard-earned cash with, and you're going to put the right stuff in it. We haven't had to pay for our bodies, maybe not yet. You might have to later on if we don't look after it. But the quality of food that we put into our bodies is actually so important. And there's a lot of studies and research shows that if we put good food into our bodies and keeping the sometimes food for sometimes foods, then it has an incredible dramatic effect on our mood, our mental health. And this also helps with how we can help others, because remember, if you're a sad sack, you're going to promote sad sacks in other people. If you're a happy, energetic, positive person, you're going to bring that out in people too. So when we talk about what we eat, this does affect our emotions. Amino acids, proteins, antioxidants, phytochemicals, they all play a role in creating a healthy chemical balance in our system. If you are someone that struggles with depression, anxiety, and all those kind of things, the first thing you can do is exercise. The second thing you can do is clean up your eating. And I guarantee you'll have a much different effect. I'm not saying that that's the only thing that you need to do, but if you master those two, I guarantee you're going to have a totally different journey, because it's like there's proof in what these two things create in our bodies, and the chemical reactions that it creates can only do good things for you and overcome, if not all, at least some of those depressive states and feelings and emotions. Another fun fact here, 90% of serotonin is actually produced in the gut. Now, remember, serotonin is the neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, appetite, sleep. Again, if you don't have much serotonin, you're going to be pretty shitty, pretty tired, eating crap, etc. So it's kind of like a seesaw. We've got to get it balanced. And we want to avoid inflammatory foods. Inflammatory foods are highly processed foods. That's things like, it's something that's had as what I like to call food miles. If something's as close to its original source as possible, like I walked out my back door and picked an apple off a tree, that would have very low food miles because I've literally picked it off the tree and eaten it. A packet of Doritos, that's got a few more food miles in it, because I'm not sure if there's such thing as a Dorito plant that you can go and pick it off and open up a packet and consume it. So keeping those foods, again, as sometimes foods. That's why we call cake birthday cake, because it happens once a year. It doesn't happen every day at 3 p.m. with our coffee. We want to keep these as sometimes foods. Again, if to get a transformation, we need to make sure we're hitting our calories first. But if you want to take this a little bit further and actually look at health and how to make sure that you're getting the most out of your body and you're putting the best stuff in, looking at the quality of food as well. Matt and I eat fully as much organic produce as possible, grass-fed meat, as stuff that's as natural as possible in their source, free range eggs, all that kind of thing. Now, the nutrient content may not be different. However, taking out the added chemicals that other foods have means that our bodies don't have to work as hard to process that stuff. So, for example, if I have hormone-induced chicken breast and free-range chicken breast, they have exactly the same nutrient content, most likely, but my body's going to have to work a lot harder to fight off the hormones that have been injected into this chicken breast than it does for the stuff that's natural. Cool? Just to give you a bit of an idea. So something for you to start looking into and maybe taking into consideration and starting to implement into your day-to-day stuff, just to get that little one step closer to being the best version of you, so that we can be the best version for others. And again, if to help those that are around us that are struggling, maybe we could encourage them to make better food choices. Maybe we could encourage them to move a little more, get them to come with you. Let's go for a run. Let's go for a walk. Let's pick a big hill to walk up and go as fast as we can. Getting huffy puffy is super important. And then the stuff that we put into us is also important. The third and final thing about what we can focus on and we can control is what goes into our head. What are you listening to? What are you watching? I feel like we're a broken record on these points at the moment, but again, I can't stress to you enough how important this stuff is. Like, turn the news off, because I'm guaranteed that you'll find out what you need to find out from everybody else. Or flick it on once a week, because I guarantee it'll also be the same story next week as well. You don't need to hear every update, because they change their mind so quickly anyway. Maybe listen to a podcast that's going to inspire you. Maybe listen to music that lifts you up and is not like stuff like, I want to kill my mom. Maybe it's something a bit more like empowering and positive, whatever that may be. But really being in control of what we put in. And there's a saying that if you're not growing, you're dying. It's kind of like a plant. If it's not thriving, it's dying. So we need to also make sure that we keep investing into our brains too, and we keep learning and keep growing our brain. So although school stops at a certain age, our education for life doesn't have to change. And now when we leave school, we actually get the opportunity to learn in the stuff that we really want to learn in, the stuff that we're passionate about, the stuff that interests us, not the stuff that we have to. So I encourage you to find out what interests you and read those kind of books. And maybe if you love like Harry Potter's or those kind of fiction books, maybe try something that's nonfiction and something that will, maybe inspire you or teach you some new stuff. Cool. All right. That is part one. Focus on you filling up your cup so that you've got something to give to others. If we do that stuff and we do it consistently, we don't have to do everything like everything so big. It can be small, minute changes, but if we compound that, then we can have massive success and huge change. Cool. Part two, we need to understand you so that we can also understand others. How do we do that? Give me 2 seconds. Matt's playing something in the background. Just going to get him to stop. There we go. Sorry, we're back. All right. So understand you so that you can understand others. First of all, we need to understand that everyone ticks differently. It's just like I like different food to what you like. I like different drinks to what you like. I like to exercise differently to what you like to do. We all tick differently. First thing that we need to, that kind of explains how we tick and how we do these things, is the 6 human needs. Every person has these needs, but we value them differently. We need them more than the other. Just like some people need more sleep than others, this is the same. The 6 are certainty, variety, significance, contribution, growth, and love and connection. For me, certainty is valued a little higher than variety as a comparison to Matt. He values variety more than certainty. So someone that has values certainty more than someone that values variety more is, I'm going to want to do things a little safer than Matt. He's going to want to be a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more prone to taking risks, etc. So this is just a small way and a simple way for us to understand why that person does what they do, why they say the things they do, why they act the way they do, and why we are different, because we all value these things different. Someone who values growth, like number 1, for example, they're going to do whatever they can to grow, whether that be growing their bank account, growing their mind, growing their performance, whatever it might be, and sometimes at the expense of others and what we may value, and we could possibly think that person may be an asshole, but it's just the way they tick because they value that stuff differently. Cool. So the 6 human needs is a really good way to understand that people are different. I have some things for us to look at. Oh, I didn't do the 6 human needs. That's all right. I've got some other images for us to look at in a second. All right, so 6 human needs is a really cool one. I highly recommend you figuring out yours so that you can understand why you tick the way you do. Because if we understand us, it gives us a better understanding into others as well. But we can't expect to understand people if we don't even understand ourselves, when we're the easiest person to study because you spend a lot of time with yourself. I hope you do. The next one is the 5 love languages. All right, I've got this one. Here we go. I'm just going to share my screen for you. 5 love languages. All right, there's acts of service, there's gifts, there's physical touch, there's quality time, and there's words of affirmation. This goes to show how others, or how we and others that speak the language of love. Just like if I was to speak Chinese and you don't understand Chinese, we're not going to be able to communicate very well. So especially if you're in an intimate relationship, for me personally, my top 2 love languages are physical touch and words of affirmation. And they're actually at the bottom of Matt's. Matt's are quality time and gifts. So for us to understand this, we need to understand this. Otherwise, we're going to spend a bit of time feeling some frustrations because I don't feel like he loves me, or vice versa. But by understanding these types of love languages, we can understand that other people can tick differently to us. And just because I show love in the way of touch or words of affirmation, which could be, hugs or kisses or literally saying, I love you. If Matt doesn't say that to me, I'm going to feel like, oh, he doesn't love me. But if he doesn't understand these differences, we're not going to be able to communicate very well, and we're just going to be missing each other like 2 ships in the night. So by having an understanding of this, we can start to recognize, oh, my mum, she's going to be an acts of service woman. I'm not acts of service. So for me to really show her how I really love her, if I do something in the form of an act of service, like run an errand for her, cook a meal, vacuum the house or something like that, that's going to scream huge points for love. And that's going to make her think that I love her. For me, maybe have nowhere near the weight and the value that it has for my mum. But if I learn to understand her and how she ticks, I can make sure she's fulfilled and she can be the best version of her too. So again, this is all just about how to understand humans, both ourselves and others, so that we can communicate effectively, so that we can then bring out the best in each other as well. All right. Let's go to the next one. Nat's posted in there, self-reflexivity, a big word that we learned this week at Cuppa and Chat. Good job, you. All right, my next point is disprofiling. This is another way for us to see the difference in us and in the way others tick. Let me bring this bad boy up. Here we go. So disprofiling. D stands for dominance. These people are competitive, they're direct, they're boasty, not necessarily a negative, because some of you might look at this and think, oh, I hope I'm not D. They're people that are assertive. They kind of know what they want. Then you've got, sorry, I just can't see this on my screen at the moment. Eyes, they're usually the people that wear bright colors. They're the people that wear leopard print. They love to be around people. They can be the life of the party. They're friendly, they're optimistic, they're enthusiastic, they're energetic. Then you've got the S style personality. That stands for steadiness. These people are a little bit more downplayed, as in they're not as bright and as sparkly as the I personalities. They're sincere, patient, modest. And this is actually at least 60% of the world's population will be an S style. So if there's ever a time when people don't want to rock the boat or will just go with the flow because they don't want to put anyone out or make anyone feel uncomfortable, they're probably more so an S style personality. Then you've got the C style. These guys love spreadsheets, data, statistics. They're accurate, they're cautious. They will know how to work their way through an Excel spreadsheet. Don't you worry. C stands for compliance. Now you'll see that one side is more task orientated. The other side is more people orientated. Then you've got outgoing, reserved, all this kind of thing. Most of us are a combination of 2, but we all have, again, like the 6 human needs, we all have this in us. It's just whatever's more dominant than the other. And again, this just goes to show that although that guy might be, you know, loud and obnoxious and hell-bent on winning, doesn't mean he's an asshole. It just means he's a high D personality. And if we understand that, then maybe we can have a bit more compassion for him, that this is the way he ticks, this is the why he ticks, and this is how he ticks. So if we can understand that, we can be a little bit more forgiving on why people are different to us. You know, why doesn't he just sit down, shut up, and just go with the flow? Well, it's just not his personality type. The DISC profile is more behavioral, and yeah, I think that's all I've really got to share on that bit. But understanding these points is just a really great way to just start to really dissect why people do the things they do and why they're different to us. I feel like these three parts, the 6 human needs, the 5 love languages, and the DISC profile, if you have a pretty good grasp on that, you can identify people pretty easily, and then you can therefore relate better to these people. A lot of what we do here at FBFM is based around knowing a lot of this stuff. So if you're a high 5 is great for the touch people, but it's also not too much for those people that don't value touch at all. Whereas if we hugged everyone, those people would be like, whoa, back it off, Sheridan, a little too much. So we're quite deliberate in the way that we do those kind of things. And I think that that's a really great success tool just for understanding people. If you understand people, no matter what your career is or what your passion in life, you're going to do it a lot better, because most things revolve around other people and even yourself, just to get an understanding of, why did I do that? Why am I so competitive? Why am I this? This is why. And then you can harness that and target it in a really positive way. All right, from there, we need to empower ourselves and others. How do we empower ourselves first? And then from this, you can then, I guess, teach it to others, maybe influence others with this. First of all, I think the first step is defining your values, your core values. I'm going to bring up a list of the core values. Look at me going with all my like extra documents today. I'm feeling like pretty on top of the world here with this stuff. All right, this is the wrong one. There it is. List of values. What are they? A value is not chocolate. A value is something more along the lines of honesty, love, commitment, fun, friendship, forgiveness. There's a huge list there that I will actually share to the group so that you guys can check it out. Why do we need to define our values? Why is it important? Because by understanding and defining our personal values, we can understand why we feel the way we feel when we are in conflict. So if you value honesty, but you continually tell little white lies and you brush it off, there's going to be some internal conflict that happens. Or if you don't speak up about something when something's not true, you're gonna want to know why you feel so irritated and agitated inside. And by then adjusting so that we can live by our values, then we can have a much more streamlined approach to life and be a lot more congruent, I guess, and feel a lot better in ourselves, so that we can be better for other people too. The challenge with values is we can't control others. So if someone else is lying, it's going to drive you up the wall, but you can't control that. You can control how you react. Now, when it comes to this stuff, I just want to make a little side note that it's really important to know that all emotions are really important to feel, and they're all valid, but it's to how long we choose to stay in those emotions is where we can come out better or worse. So feeling frustrated at yourself for maybe not sticking to a value or being 100% aligned with it, feel that, but you can't beat yourself up and you can't quit because you haven't been in total alignment for 100% of the time. All right, I'm gonna stop that one. Sorry, so I can go back and see my notes. I've just got some, it's not on the screen. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Actually, I'll just post it in afterwards. You don't really need to see it. There's quite a few there, so take my word for it. All right, so how do we work out what our values are? We need a piece of paper, a pen. You need to write quickly. Don't overthink it too much. And some of the questions that thought-provoking and trying to get the right answers out of you. What makes you feel good, or what makes you feel bad? So sometimes when, like, if someone lies to you, that could really cut you deep. So you value honesty. So that makes you feel bad. So it's one of those things that you value. What's important to you, like characteristics and behaviors. What's important to you in life? What types of behaviors or stories make you angry? What types of behaviors and stories make you inspired? What are you most proud of? And when were you the happiest? If you can write some words associated to those, you can start to condense a list to get your values. In some cases, it will be pretty easy to figure out. So like if you wrote a loving relationship, then love is actually the value that you have there, not a loving relationship. Just like ice cream can't be a value, or chocolate. Then if you wrote being happy, then happiness is a value. Some others might require a little bit more work. For example, if you're inspired by stories of successful entrepreneurs, maybe you value determination or achievement, or maybe it's wealth and success. If you're inspired by activists trying to change the world, maybe you value courage or integrity, or maybe it's justice or peace. So you really need to try and examine exactly what it is about those stories or experiences that you can relate to. And that's why if you go through a list of values, and you can actually see some options, it might be a great way for those to like jump out at you, for you to choose and go, actually, that's the word that defines it. You know, it is the whole successful entrepreneurs. Does determination stick out to you more? Or is it achievement? What are the words that really sing to your heart, I guess, is a good way to do that. Now, a practical way, so that's kind of your values. By defining those, you can choose what you want your values to be, and you can change them at any point because you're in control, which is such a blessing. Thank God we are. The next one, which I really love, is the I am words. And these kind of help us in a more practical sense and a kind of in the moment sense. And again, this stuff can help us so that we can help others. And even if we get other people to look into this stuff, then they can have a greater understanding of them, why they're feeling the way they are, and how they can change it. So the I am words, they are like values that are anchored. We like to do 5 of them. So we anchor them to fingers, so it's easy to remember. And these are kind of like empowerment words to remind you who you are, or who you want to be, or who you're becoming, not what you're not. We want to focus on the positive. A really cool example of this is that I had a little bit of a cry on my run last night. It was pretty tough. I called my mum, cried to my mum while I was running. I'm 31 and I still call my mum. Anyway, I got a beautiful bunch of flowers delivered to me today, and a little card in there that Mum wrote some I am words for me today to focus on. Now, I have my core I am words, but this is really cool this is how you could do this to help those around you. All it says that in the card is your words for this week are, I am awesome, I am kind, I'm funny, I am beautiful, and I am loved. Love from Mum and Dad. Those kind of things is something that you could do to help those around you. And especially in times like that, you don't even have to send them a beautiful bunch of flowers like I got. Look at these, they're just stunning and they smell amazing too. But if you send a text to someone reminding them who they are, who they could be, who they can aspire to be, in that kind of form, you have no idea what effect it could have on their day, on their life, and going forward. So your I am words, for me personally, I like to put them into number 1. It's always the number 1 finger, healthy, fit, and strong. Now, these are words that resonate with you. Now, the way I define these words might be very different to the way you define these words. So first of all, I've got healthy, fit, and strong. I've got kind. I link to that finger because I find it easy to link that finger to kind, whatever reason. Then I have wealthy, I have classy, and I have fun because we're always up for a good time. Now, you might look at the word wealthy and think, why would she want, why is money attached to that? And so, well, for me, the word wealthy isn't just attached to money. It's about a wealth of knowledge. It's so much more than just dollar figure wealth. It is, part of it is wealth to do with money, because I know that a bigger bank account can help more people, as well as a bigger heart and a bigger mind can also help more people too. So that's kind of where wealthy comes into that. Classy for me is not just, a sophisticated look. It's a clean, white teeth, fresh face. It's more to just what you might define as classy. So what I want you to do is after this, I'd love you to spend some time creating 5 I am words to anchor to your fingers, so that when you go into a situation, if you need help deciding on either how to react, how you need to be, how you need to feel, or how you want to feel after a certain amount of time, you can refer back to these 5 I am words to help kind of with your decision-making process. So for me, if I'm like sitting on the couch, I've had a block of chocolate, I want a second block of chocolate, healthy, fit, and strong. All I have to do is ask myself, would a healthy, fit, and strong person have a second block of chocolate? And it's really simple for me. No. In my rules of that word, no. Cool. Game over. End of discussion. There's no more to be done about it. Because sometimes when we're in the moment and in the heat of things and in the emotion, it's really hard to see out and step out and to kind of educate ourselves or guide ourselves down the path we probably want to take if we're in a great mind space. And that would be I can't be bothered running today, but would a healthy, fit, and strong person run today? Yes, she would. You get out there and I guarantee you're going to feel 100 times better from doing it. Because remember, all those endorphins and all the good stuff that's produced in our body that actually creates the energy makes us feel better anyway. Would a classy person wear that to the supermarket? No, she wouldn't. So if you've ever seen me at the supermarket, I'm either in my work clothes, sometimes my gym gear, or I'm dressed up way too much. Because why the hell not? That's what a classy person does. I've got some beautiful clothes and I want to wear them. And it's a really great tool, just like I said, to really decipher and help you decide in the moment when it could be a little bit tough for you to make the best choice for you. That's pretty much all I've got for this. It was a little bit roundabout and probably not exactly what you were expecting, but I believe that if we can be the best version of us and we can have tools in our tool belt that we can help us, we can then use that to help others. Again, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to get you good first. Doesn't mean you can't help others at the same time, but you got to make sure that your priority number one. When the oxygen masks come from the ceiling in the plane, they say you've got to put it on you first because you can't help out anyone else if you're passed out on the floor. I'm going to post some of these documents into the event for tonight so that you can have access to them. I'd really love you to sit down and understand yourself so that you can then understand others, work out your values. What are they? Are they what you want them to be? The beauty of your I am words are you can create those as to who the person you want to be is. You wouldn't put down there fat if you don't want to be fat or and work out those words that mean something to you and maybe encompass a few words. Like I've got healthy, fit, and strong as one because it encompasses all of it. And then for me, classy is not only the way I dress and the way I look and the way I smell, it's also clean teeth and healthy and clear skin and things like that. So what I do is then my actions are then filtered through these I am words to see if I'm making the right choices so that I can be happier in myself. Because if we're in alignment and on track, we are much better. Everything in us works better. We make better decisions. We progress further. And I just want to encourage you guys to do that so that you can be there for others. And then please, these are recorded, they're posted, and they're made public. So please, if there's anyone that you think might get something from this, please send it their way, because especially in times like these, we need to make sure that we're rock solid and we're learning, we're putting the good stuff in so that we can be the best version of us, so we can get the best out of others as well. Look at me go. I feel like I did pretty good. I didn't ramble too much. Does anybody have any questions? Did I miss anything that's not quite clear? No, we're good. We're good. Well, as always, if there's anything that we can discuss later on, please let us know. If you would like to chat more, please reach out. We're always here for you guys. And we want to make sure you guys are thriving and not the opposite. We love you guys dearly. Thank you guys so much for investing into you. If there is a topic that you would love us to discuss, please reach out and let us know. We've got some cool topics coming your way for sure. Week 5, the start of week 5 for the 8-week challenge, we'll be diving more into macros and the types of foods that we eat. So if you want to know more about that. Other than that, again, I'm rambling. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and listening. Hopefully you got something out of that. I'll post some documents, but if you have any other questions on that stuff, get onto your 5 I am words. I think they're really powerful. Read the 5 love languages, do the 5 love languages test. If you Google that, it'll come up with a quiz. Learn that stuff so we can be better for everyone else. Cool. You guys rock. We love you. Thank you guys so much. Ciao for now.